Hey KVSANs, today I'm going to start the video I discussed with you on Thursday. This video is covering what we took starting from the year day 1 until what we took on Thursday. Please, to deal with the video in a good way, every question is here. You stop the video, start solving it alone, then complete the video. In every question I will start memorizing the rules to make life easier. Please watch the video 1 or 2 times to make sure that you understand anything and you covered anything. And as you know, anything you need, I'm always there. Before starting anything, I'm insisting on telling you, please study prime numbers, please study the square numbers and the cube numbers. To deal with math in a professional way, you must study all of these numbers, and of course timetables. It's forbidden to be in grade 7 or 8, and you are not very smart and clever in the timetables. In the beginning of the year, we start discussing how to add and subtract numbers or integers. Okay, so when I have something like this, or something like this, or let's see something like this, and what about something like this? If you look at the first one, I can see that I'm having 2 minus 10. The answer always takes the sign of the bigger number. The bigger number is 10, and the sign is negative, so the answer must be negative. The two numbers are of different signs, so we subtract them. 10 minus 2 gives 8, so the answer is negative 8. When we look at the second example, I can see that the bigger number, which is 10, is having a positive sign, so the answer must be positive. When I have two numbers of same signs, we add them, so the answer is positive 12. When we look at the third example, I can see that the bigger number, which is 10, is having a negative sign, so the answer must be negative. Two numbers of same signs, we add them up, so the answer is negative 12. If we look at the fourth one, I can see that the bigger number is positive, so the answer must be positive. As the two numbers are having different signs, as you see, negative and positive, so I'm going to subtract them, so the answer is 8. Why positive 8? Because 10 is positive, which is the bigger. Let's see an example. As you can see, he gave me two boxes, and he is asking me to find negative 8 added to what to give me negative 3. Okay, this question you can solve it by two methods, either mentally or using the number line. But thinking in it of mentally, I can see that negative 8 is added to something and the answer is negative 3. Since the answer is negative, so that means that negative 8 is 8, or 8 is the bigger number. Negative 8 to reach negative 3, it's getting bigger. By how many digits? By 5 digits, so the answer is 5. Or you can solve it using the number line. I can see that on the number line, I have here negative 8 and here negative 3. And between negative 8 and negative 3, you can see that I'm having 5 digits, which are negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, and negative 4. I can see that moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that the answer will be positive 5, as I'm going to the positive direction. So in these type of questions, you can get it mentally or by the number line. If you look at that second example, he's giving me 1 over 8 added to 3 over 4. We have discussed how to add fractions, but let's memorize it. I cannot add or subtract fractions unless I'm having two same denominators. I can see that I'm having here 8 and 4. You can get it by two methods, but we will take the easier, that there is a relation between 8 and 4. That if I multiplied 4 by 2, it will give me this 8. So what happens up, happens down. So 1 over 8 added to 6 over 8, the answer is 7 over 8. So again, we cannot add or subtract fractions unless I'm having two same denominators. So there is a relation between 8 and 4. That 4 multiplied by 2 will give me this 8. What happens down, happens up. So 1 over 8 added to 6 over 8. Denominator always goes as it is. And we add nominators, which the answer is 7 over 8. Let's see question 2. He's asking me to find the square root of 225. Before discussing anything, let's discuss the two types of roots you are having. In this year, you are discussing, or you are learning two types of roots. One is called a square root, and the other is called a cubic root. Okay? Square root deals, from its name, it deals with square numbers, while cubic root deals with cube numbers. Let's take an example for each of them. If you have 5 power 2, you know that it's equal to 25. So you also know that the square root of 25 gives 5. If you have 3 to the power of 3, it gives you 27. While cubic root of 27 will give you 3. So cubic root and the square root deals only with square numbers and cube numbers. So as the answer of square root of 225, if you memorize the square numbers, you will know that 15 power 2 gives 225, so the square root of 225 will give me this 15. Number B, he is asking me to estimate the cube root of 100. Since that he is asking me to estimate a number, a cube number or a cubic root of a number, so that means that I'm dealing with cube numbers. Okay, what are the cube numbers? You must know them, all of you. It's 1, 8, 27, 64, 125, and so on. I can see that 100 is lying in between 64 and 125. We all know that 64 is 4 to the power of 3, and 125 is 5 to the power of 3. So that means that cubic root of this number will be lying in between, which is 4.6. Let's discuss question 3, which is dealing with the power of 10. As you see the question, this is one of the main questions. Most of you get it wrong. But before doing anything, let's see what guessers tell you. Guesser بيقول لك, if you have multiplied by 10 with a positive power or divide by 10 with a negative power, you move right with the decimal point. When you have multiplied by 10 with a negative power or divide by 10 with a positive power, you move left with also the decimal point. And before completing, there is a tricky questions he like to get. Like when I have 100, 100 means 10 to the power of 2. But when I have 0.01, when you have a decimal point, you count the zeros. I have here 2 zeros, so it's 10 to the power of negative 2, and so on. When I have 0.1, it means 10 power negative 1. When I have 0.0001, it means 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, and 4. When I have 1000, it means 10 power 3, and so on. If you look at the question, I can see that he gives me in the first question 0.036 multiplied by 10 power 5. So this 0.036 power 5 means it's going to be shifted for 5 digits, positive number, so it's going right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's going to be 3600. If you look at the second one, I can see that it's 470 multiplied by 10 power negative 2. When I have 10 multiplied by negative power, I will move left. Here is my decimal point. I will move for 2 decimal places. So it's 4.7. If we look at the last one, he's giving me 2 divided by 10 power negative 4. We know that divide with a negative power, we move right. We'll move right for how many digits? For 4. So this is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 2 and 4 zeros. So please concentrate in the rule. As long as the rule is in your mind and you know this tricky part, you can solve anything in the power of 10 questions. Let's look at question 4, how to multiply decimal numbers. Most of you get it right, I know, but I want to make sure that anyone will memorize the rule well. If I have something like 127 multiplied by 0.3, it's 12.7. First of all, you start multiplying the numbers normally without dealing with the decimal points. So it's 127 multiplied by 3. 3 times 7, 21, so 1 carry up 2, 6, 8. So it's 381. I can see that the question is shifted here 1 decimal point and the other also 1 decimal point. So the answer will be shifted, the total number of the shifted decimal points here. So the answer is 3.81. If you look at number 5, we discussed it before in the class, but let's say it again. He's saying that Maya and Lily are discussing the square root of 120. So to estimate the square root of a number, you start writing the square numbers until you reach this number. So you start writing the square numbers, which are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, and 121. I can see that square root of 120 is here. It is nearest to 121, so it will be approximately 111. If you look at number 6, he is asking me to write all prime numbers included between 60 and 70. To make life easier, let's write all the numbers. I can see that the numbers between 60 and 70 are 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, and 69. Okay, how to get the prime numbers from all of these numbers? Let's take them step by step. If you look at 61, it's not an even number, so it's a bit risky to see if it's a prime number or not. Okay, is it divisible by 3? No. Why? Because I have 6 plus 1, it will give me 7, and 7 is not divisible by 3, so 61 is not divisible by 3. Since that the number is not divisible by 2 or 3, and the last digit is not 0 or 5, so it's a prime number. If you look at 62, even numbers are not prime at all. 63, I know that 63 is divisible by 3. If I add 6 plus 3, it gives me 9. So that number is divisible by 3, so it's not prime. Even number, not prime. Ending by 5, not prime. 66, even, not prime. 67, let's wait a bit. 67 is not an even, so let's see another thing. Is it divisible by 3? Let's see. 6 plus 7 gives me 13. Is 13 divisible by 3? No. So it's a prime number. What about 68? Even, not a prime number. 69, divisible by 3, not a prime number. But this 67, I can see that the 7, it's not even, not ending by 0 or 5, and also not divisible by 3, so it's a prime number.